Distractions, how I live my day-to-day. Sketchy lines upon an empty page. Hard to explain and to express. Forever just a work in progress.
Oh, it's a necklace! Hi, my name is Keeyara again and welcome back to another Art Chive. Today I'm going to show you my first time working with gouache, and I want to make these Art Chives a monthly thing at the end of each month where I sit down and, talk to you guys about my reflections and feelings about art and make this, something like a diary, an archive, if you will, of my journey with art. So here I have the 18 Himi gouache jelly set, and I really wanted to try something new with art, so I thought, why not, why not coconut? Oh my god, okay. I actually love to swatch the gouache, but I find it especially difficult with water-based paints because it tends to be so messy. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever told you, but gouache is really messy. It's like a mix of watercolor and acrylic and all the bad things of watercolor and acrylic.
You have made my life complete, and I love you so.
I've been thinking about what it means for me to branch out from my usual acrylic textured floral canvas art, and how I used to be so set that that was my art style and I couldn't do anything else. And I think that's the worst mindset to be in, because when you get trapped into the idea that this is all you are, this is all you can do, you stop yourself from growing. And I'm a victim of this to many parts of my life, but I honestly would rather not have it be that mentality when it comes to art, because I want to try new things, and these things may not make sense to others, but perhaps they make sense to me. And I've also found myself drifting away from the internet because, well, not because I hate it, rather the opposite actually. I'm doing this detox with joyish thing that I found from one of my favorite YouTubers. At the end of every month, you take a break from social media, you delete it off your phone, and I find it super cathartic, and it made me realize how much stepping back from the internet makes you realize how much escapism it brings, and how much time you spend staring at a little box on your phone, and how what you consume actually consumes you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, I find escapism in my art and the movies I watch and the books I read, and even in studying. For the most part of my life, I felt like a melting pot of so much personalities and ideologies. And is that such a bad thing? I don't think so. We're all works in progress, It's what makes us human. But we have to choose the things that bring us happiness and do everything with moderation. Wow, I sound like a guidance counselor, but that's my thoughts on it. During the few nights that I had on break, I've grown accustomed to making random art that allows me just to exercise my hands without putting much thought into what I make. And guess what she's doing? She's listening to the same audiobook she has been listening to since she was 11. Yes. I also find these times to be times where I can listen to music, listen to podcasts, listen to the things that I actually want to consume while making art. It's so surreal that I'm doing art while doing the things I love, but I always have to remind myself that my best is not my best, and my not good enough is not that bad. Ask yourself who you're making it for. Who are you making art for? Surely it's not supposed to be for other people. This is your time to say, nope, fuck that. Who cares if I'm trying something new? This is for me, and I want to learn, and I want to grow, and I want to do new things. A sketchbook is less intimidating than a canvas. You get a second, a third, a fourth chance. If you didn't get any of those chances, you can buy a new sketchbook. I always like to remind myself that all the greats started somewhere, if you think about it. They started once like you or me, clueless but willing to learn, passionate about the things that they love to do.
When it's over, will I know? When the driver takes you home.
So here I am. I'm gonna paint a Studio Ghibli scene because I got inspired by Jimena Reno. She's one of my favorite YouTubers in the whole world. I never leave without feeling inspired, and I want to, do the same to you guys. And it's crazy how I've never actually painted a landscape before this specific video. Did I mention how messy gouache is? It's really messy. Oh my god, no. So yeah, I've never painted a landscape before this. I've always wanted to, but I was too scared I'd screw up. But that's the art of buying new paint. You want to try something new. So I'm gonna try to paint this scene from Kiki's delivery service. And I just find that when I paint something that has a lot of shadows, I get more excited. I love how gouache actually dries faster than watercolor, and you don't have to think about it that much, but you have to think about it more than acrylic. So it's like the sweet middle of it. And yeah, I made this little cottage from Kiki's delivery service. And that's the thing about making new art. You never know what you're gonna get, and you could make the worst thing ever, but then you can always say, hey, it was my first time painting this. And if you make it really good, you can say, wow, this was so amazing, I actually made this. And I think this has always been my mentality with art. If you start and you don't like it, it's okay, you can try again. I feel like I'm being redundant whenever I say these kinds of things, but it's crazy how much you have to remind yourself of it, because the fear of not being good enough is what holds you back from being anything or learning. So I always have to remind myself of that. I actually bought this book. It's called Things Are What You Make of Them, Life Advice for Creatives by Adam J. Kurtz. And I remember wanting this book so bad when I was in 8th grade. And it just baffles me how much I've gone from there and how much most of these things apply to my life. So I wanted to read you guys something that I found on there, and it's called How to Get Over Common Creative Fears. I want to read you guys one of the things that it said there, and it's quote unquote, it's not perfect. It's hard to let go of a project that feels imperfect, but not only is perfection non-existent, your current perfect will one day be your meh as you continue to grow your craft. Basically, do your best and then shut up and let people love it. And the other one is laugh. If all else fails, try combating fear with humor. Like a good cry, a good laugh can be a great release. Ha ha ha! Everything is terrifying, but you're gonna be okay. I'm so sorry, that sounded like SpongeBob. Lots of people say failure is not an option, but it actually is. Failure is an option, and it's actually part of the process of becoming a better artist or a better person. And only in your failures do you learn the most important lessons. So don't be afraid of failing. Let go of your pride. It's okay to screw up. It's okay to fuck up, You can always try again. And you will always try again. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Yet again, as I mentioned, I'm learning how to get into gouache, how to learn gouache. There are lots of different classes on Skillshare because Skillshare is an online platform where you can learn from tons of different classes, from candle making to language learning to coding and art. So I personally love to use it for art. One of the classes that I've taken up is Malcolm Dewey's Gouache Painting for Beginners, where he talks about the different properties of gouache and how you can work around with it if you're a beginner. Another class that I really, as I mentioned, always have come back to is Gabriel Piccolo's character illustration class, where he teaches how to make different character illustrations and different design. This semester I'm looking forward to learning French on Skillshare because I'm going to be learning French in my school, but I want to enhance these skills through Skillshare. So if you also want to learn along with me during this time, you guys can check out the link in my description box where Skillshare will offer you a free trial of Skillshare Premium for the first 1,000 people who click the link in my description box. And after that, it only costs less than $10 a month. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video yet again, and thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!